Hello dear students, welcome to second part of this video. In the previous video we have seen what is the structure and function of ecosystem. In this video we are going to see what are the types of ecosystem and what are their functions and characteristics. Before that we'll move towards the last part of the function of ecosystem, that is ecological succession. So, what is ecological succession? The process by which communities of plants and animals in an area are replaced or changed over a period of time, known as ecological succession. You can also say it is it is similar to evolution. Succession occurs when a series of communities replace one another due to large scale destruction, either due to natural or man-made activities. This process continues until you get a stable, mature community. Succession is a progressive series of changes which leads to establishment of a relatively stable climax community. So ecological succession, it takes place until you get a stable community. Okay, and when does this succession occurs? Whenever there is a large scale destruction due to natural or man-made activity. The first biotic community to colonize a particular area is known as the pioneer community, and the final stage of succession, it is known as the climax community, which is the stable community. The stages leading to the climax community, it is known as successional stages or spheres. Each transitional community that is formed or replaced during succession or the various stages in succession is known as a serial community. Now, spheres are of two main types, that is xerosphere and hydrosphere. Xerosphere is what biotic succession occurs in an arid or dry area. Xerosphere is again further divided into three types. Lithosphere, that is biotic succession takes place in a rock. Samosphere, it is the biotic succession initiating on a sand. And halosphere, that is initiating in a saline soil. Second is hydrosphere, where succession initiates in a region where there is water. Example, ponds, streams, and lakes. Types of ecological succession, two types are there, primary and secondary. So first is primary succession. Where does primary succession takes place? Over a bare or unoccupied area such as newly formed deltas, sand dunes, volcano islands, and lava flows, as well as new pond where no community has existed previously. Primary succession on a terrestrial site is the first kind colonized by a few hardy pioneer species that are mostly the lichens and mosses. The pioneers over a few generations alter the habitat conditions by their growth and development. Conditions are hostile to the pioneer community. So mostly the pioneer community in case of primary succession are what? The microbes, lichens, and mosses. Secondary succession occurs when plants recognize an area in which the climax community has been disturbed. Secondary succession is a sequential development of biotic communities after complete or partial destruction of existing community. So primary succession, it occurs in a very newly formed area. In contrast to that, secondary succession occurs in an area where already there was a community, but due to the human activities or some other natural calamity, there has been complete or partial destruction of that existing community. Now the destruction may be due to the forest fire, due to floods, due to heavy overgrazing, landslide, or drought. For example, this is the example of secondary succession on a land. This abundant farmland was first invaded by the hardy species of grasses in bare sun-baked soil. These grasses may be soon joined by the tall grasses, then it is joined by the herbaceous plant. Then due to presence of herbaceous plant, these dominate the ecosystem along with the herbivores like mice, rabbit, insect, and sea-eating birds. Eventually, some trees come up this area, seeds of which may be brought up by the pollination process. Okay, and over the years, there will be development of forest community. So, thus, an abundant farmland over a period it becomes dominated by trees and it's transformed into a forest. So, this is the example of secondary succession. Now, this is the example of biotic succession on bare rock. Now, on bare rock, there is no organism. Okay. Now, glacier leaves behind bare rock, or volcano also produces bare rock with no organisms. Then comes the lichen stage, where the pioneer species begins breaking down the rock, usually lichens. They grow on the rock. Now, what does this do? Lichens secrete acid that begin the breaking of the rock into small particles, which mix with lichen and it start making the soil. After lichens comes the moss stage. Okay, so more complex plant begin growing when soil is deep enough. After many years, eventually replace the lichens. Mosses accumulate more soil and organic matter, and also rock weathering starts. Then comes the annual grass stage. In this partially fragmented rock and in sufficient moisture conditions, seeds of annual grasses germinate in rainy season. Root penetration causes further fragmentation and weathering. Then comes perennial grass stage. Grasses having runners and rhizomes readily spread. Okay. Then moisture, soil, vegetation, they will invite the smaller insect. This smaller insect will cause pollination and then they will go under the shrub stage. So it further causes development of shrubs. The roots of shrub penetrate to greater depth, causing further cracks and rocks. Then comes the forest and grassland. More moisture in the soil causes development of more vegetation, which leads to the development of forest. And thus, from a bare rock, you can see there is an ecological succession, and then it forms the forest or grassland, depending on the weather condition. Same has been explained here. Bare area, lichens and mosses. Then annual grasses are formed, perennial grasses, shrubs, and in the last you will get trees. So this is the image of lichens and moss, just for your information. So this was regarding the function of ecosystem. Now we'll move towards the type of ecosystem. Ecosystem can be divided into two types: natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. Example of man-made ecosystem include orchid and cropland. Example of natural ecosystem, they can be divided into two types: terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem, further it is divided into three types. That is the ecosystem which is present on land, that is forest, grassland, and desert. Aquatic ecosystem, they can be divided on the two types depending on the salinity, that is freshwater ecosystem in which water is not at all saline, and marine ecosystem. Freshwater ecosystem, again it is divided into two types: lenthic which is known as stationary water ecosystem, that is lakes and ponds, and lotic, that is running water, example is rivers and streams. Forest ecosystem. Forests are wild, natural, self-sustained wooded tracts of land with biotic community predominated by the trees and shrubs with a close canopy. The components of any ecosystem include biotic and abiotic components. Abiotic components will include sun, soil, water, air, rainfall, temperature. Biotic components, it is the main thing you can say. In biotic component you have the producers, which in case of forest ecosystem it is the plants. Primary ecosystem is what, primary consumers are ants, beetles and bugs, also elephants and deers. Secondary consumers are lizards, frogs. Tertiary are snakes and foxes, and quaternary will be the lion and tiger. And decomposers will be bacteria and fungi. So this is a food web in forest ecosystem. Okay. And this is the simplest food chain you can say in forest ecosystem. Grass which is eaten up by this deer, and this deer is consumed by the lion. Types of forest. Very first type is deciduous forest. These are mostly found in regions which have balanced amount of seasonal rainfall, last for only few months. Trees shed their leaves during winter and hot summer months and regain their fresh leaves just before the monsoon. Thorn forest, these are mostly formed in the semi-arid region. Trees are scattered and surrounded by open grassy areas. They have long and fibrous roots. Reduce loss of water. Some species have small leaves and thick waxy leaves. They have thorns, that is they protect plants from the herbivores. Evergreen forests, these are found in high rainfall areas like Western Ghats. Okay, they shed a very few leaves throughout the year. There is no leafless phase. That is the reason why the name is evergreen forest. Forest is rich in orchids and ferns and is more rich in insect life. Coniferous forests, these are mostly seen in snowy areas like Himalaya. Temperature is low. What is the specialty? They have tall trees with needle-like leaves and downward sloping branches which forms the canopy. Having cones instead of seeds, that is the reason why the name is coniferous forest. Mangrove forests, they are mainly grow along the coast. Okay, they are able to grow in mixed and saline and fresh water in muddy area, and they have breathing roots and they prevent soil erosion. What are the functions of forest? Nutrient cycling, they maintain biodiversity, provide habitat to the wild animals, they affect the rainfall pattern, store water, reduce floods, prevent soil erosion, and helps in reclaiming the degraded land. What are the threats? Jhum cultivation, hydroelectric dams, forest fires, urbanization, construction of canals, overgrazing, mining, and timber extraction. Conservation of forest ecosystem can be done by sustainable use of forest product, use of alternate source for fuel and wood, protect from forest fires, prevent overgrazing, and prevent deforestation. Then forest must be protected as national parks and wildlife sanctuaries and create awareness regarding the forest conservation. Then we'll move towards the second type of ecosystem, that is grassland ecosystem. It is the collection of plants, animals and microorganisms that live within an environment where grasses are the primary form of vegetation. Grassland cover 40% of the earth's surface And some grassland are hot all year around. Some grassland have very hot summer and very cold winter. And they exist in both temperate as well as tropical region. Types of grassland, two types, tropical and temperate grassland. Tropical grassland are also known as savannas. They are found in wide band on the either side of the equator on the edges of tropical rainforest. Now, what is the characteristics of savanna? They have very hot temperature and distinctive wet and dry period. During winter, less than 4 inches of rain can fall, but they can receive over 25 inches during summer month. Temperate grassland are found in all four corners of the world. Grasslands are defined by the semi-arid climates, that is semi-dry climate is there. Temperatures range from -40 to 70 degree Fahrenheit. Temperate grassland, it is located in temperate latitude. Tropical, it is located in tropical latitude. Grass is very short, soft, juicy and nutritive. The grass is very tall in case of tropical grassland, and there are scattered deciduous trees. Soil is very fertile in case of temperate grassland, and soil is not very fertile in case of tropical grassland. Abiotic components in case of grassland ecosystem remains the same, that is the soil, then essential elements like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc., and water. Now here comes the difference between the biotic components. In case of grassland ecosystem, the producer are mainly the grasses. Primary consumers are cows, buffaloes, sheep which feed on the grasses. Secondary consumers are snakes, lizards. Tertiary are foxes and jackals, and quaternary consumer is again different, that is hawk and eagle. Decomposers remain the same, that is the bacteria and fungi. This is the food chain of grassland ecosystem. Food web of grassland ecosystem we have already discussed. What is the function of grasslands? Major function is to provide the fodder to the cattle. It also provide home to many different animals. They are used as grazing area. Different species of insect, they grow in grassland and thus they help in pollination. They also help in controlling the pest in adjoining field. They maintain biodiversity. Grass is also used to make houses and farm sheds, and they also serve as a source of fuel wood. Threats. The major threat is overgrazing, converting the grassland into agricultural farms, and fires. How will you conserve? Avoid overgrazing. Rotational grazing pattern can be adapted. Provide fodder by cutting instead of releasing the animals for grazing. Prevent fires. Conserve it as national park and sanctuary. Stop converting grassland into agricultural land. Protection of rare grassland animals, awareness among the people, and preventing illegal wildlife hunting. Then comes the third ecosystem, that is a desert ecosystem. What is the specific characteristic of desert ecosystem? It has very less rainfall, that is less than 250 millimeter. Other than low precipitation, they are also categorized by scarce vegetation and extreme temperature oscillating between 115 Fahrenheit during daytime and 32 degree Fahrenheit at last. And deserts have very dry climate. Characteristics: soils that form in arid climates are predominantly mineral soils with low organic content. Most plants are drought soil tolerant. Rain does fall occasionally in desert, and desert storms are often violent, and they are very hot during day and very cold during night. Two types of desert is there: cold desert and hot and dry desert. Now, cold desert, they are characterized by cold winters with snowfall and higher overall rainfall throughout the winter and occasionally over the summer. But in contrast to that hot and dry desert, they are generally hot throughout the year, and winters also they have very less rainfall. Abiotic components, it include soil present in the, and also nutrients which are present in the soil. There is a lack of organic matter and scarcity of water, so you cannot write water and organic matter in case of a biotic component in case of desert. In case of biotic component, the producers in case of desert are mainly the succulents like cactus. Primary consumers are mammals and insects. Secondary consumers are lizards, scorpion, and quaternary consumers are hawk and eagle. In case of primary consumers, you can write herbivores like camels also. In case of decomposers, mostly thermophilic bacteria, which can be stable at higher temperature. They act as a decomposers in case of desert ecosystem. Food chain, these insects, they are taken up by the scorpion, lizard, and tarantula, which are again fed up by the hawk or eagle. This is the example of food web in the Mojave Desert, which is located in the African countries. Threats: increased human population affecting the desert, natural characteristics have been altered, extinction of rare species due to human activities, over extraction from tube well, which is causing the decrease in groundwater level. How will you conserve it? Protect it as a national park, prevent development activities like mining in and development project in desert, and prevent irrigation in desert. Now we are moving towards the last type of ecosystem, that is the aquatic ecosystem. It is divided into two types depending on the salinity, that is the freshwater ecosystem and marine ecosystem. Abiotic component, it includes light, temperature, pH of water, clarity of water, and turbidity of water. Biotic components producers are phytoplanktons, primary consumers zooplankton, secondary consumers small crustaceans, tertiary consumers small fishes, quaternary large fishes, and decomposers are again bacteria and fungi. This is a generalized aquatic food chain: phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish, and large fish. Now we'll see the freshwater ecosystem. That is, first is pond ecosystem. Pond is a freshwater aquatic ecosystem where water is stagnant. Okay, what is the characteristic of pond? It is temporary, only seasonal, lasting for just a couple of months. They become dry after rains are over and are covered by terrestrial plants for the remaining year. When it rains, various life forms like algae, microorganisms come out where they have remained dormant. It is a stagnant freshwater body. It gets polluted easily because there is a limited amount of water in pond. Abiotic components: temperature, light, water, organic and inorganic compound. Biotic components include phytoplankton like algae and other floating plants like hydrilla. Algae, then consumers are the insects, bacteria are the decomposers. These insects are again fed up by smaller and larger fish, and which is then taken up by this top consumer. Primary consumer zooplankton, secondary consumer carnivores, tertiary consumer they feed on smaller fish like game fish, and decomposers are fungi, bacteria and flagellates. Then comes lake ecosystem. Lake are large natural shallow water bodies. They are used for various purposes. They are supplied with water from rainfall, melting snow and streams. Types of lakes, four types are there. Oligotrophic lakes, they have low nutrient concentrations. Eutrophic lakes, they are overnourished by nutrients. Dystrophic lakes, they have low pH, high humic content and brown water. Volcanic lakes, they receive water from magma after volcanic eruption. Zones of lake, four zones are there. Littoral zone, top layer of the lake has shallow water. Warmest, since it is shallow and can absorb most of the sun's heat. It sustains a fairly diverse community. Some insects, egg and larvae are found in this zone, and vegetation and animals living in this zone are food for other creatures like turtles, snakes and ducks. Then limnatic zone, which is next to littoral zone, where light does not generally penetrate all the way to bottom. Prefrontal zone, the deep open water where it is too dark, much colder and denser, little light penetrates. Plankton have short lifespans. When they die, they fall into this deep water part of the lake or pond. Animals found are decomposers. Benthic zone, this zone is found at the bottom of the lake. Nutrients, especially phosphate and nitrate, are often scarce in this zone because they are used up quickly by plants during the photosynthesis. Same has been explained here. Characteristics. Lake is a shallow freshwater body. It is permanent water body. It helps in irrigation and drinking. Then comes river ecosystem. Running water of a stream or a river is usually well oxygenated because it absorbs oxygen from the air. What is the characteristic? Fresh water, free flowing water system. Dissolved oxygen content is more, and it consists of large amount of nutrients. Abiotic component includes light, temperature, chemistry, substrate. Biotic component include phytoplankton, algae, water grasses. Consumers include water insects. Secondary consumers include the birds. Hmm. In case of rivers, and decomposers again include the bacteria and fungi. So this was regarding the freshwater ecosystem. Now we'll move towards the saltwater ecosystem or marine ecosystem. Oceans cover more than two-thirds of the Earth's surface. It also provides us iron, magnesium, natural gas. Zones of ocean, coastal zone. It is relatively warm, nutrient-rich, shallow water. It has high primary productivity because high nutrients and sunlight. That is the superficial part is known as the coastal zone. Open sea, it is the deeper part of the zone or deeper part of the ocean. It is vertically divided into three regions. Euphotic zone, it receives abundant light and show high photosynthetic activity. Bathyal zone, it receives dim light. And abyssal zone, it is the dark zone and is very deep, or you can say bottom zone is known as abyssal zone. Characteristic of ocean ecosystem: large surface area with saline water. Since ships, submarines can sail in ocean, commercial activities can be earned out, and it is very rich in biodiversity. Structure and function of this ecosystem: abiotic is temperature, light, sodium chloride. which maintains the alkalinity. Biotic component include phytoplanktons, mostly the marine plants like seaweeds. Consumers, primary consumers are mollusks, crustaceans, and fish. Secondary consumers are, in this case, you have to write all the marine animals, herring, sad, mackerel, etc. Tertiary consumers are cod and haddock. Decomposers are bacteria and some fungi. So this is the summary of all the aquatic ecosystem. Pond ecosystem, temporary and seasonal, it gets polluted easily. Lake ecosystem, fresh water, helps in irrigation and drinking. River system, freshwater system, dissolved oxygen content is more. Ocean ecosystem, it occupies large surface area with saline water, rich in biodiversity. Estuarine system, again it is a part, it is same to saline ecosystem or marine ecosystem. Now abiotic component is same in all this case, temperature, light, water. Only in case of salt ecosystem or saline ecosystem, you have to write salts as the abiotic component. In case of prior producers, in all these cases, you can say phytoplankton is the producer, but in case of marine ecosystem, you have to write the marine plants. Then comes the zooplankton. In case of river, you have to write water insects, snails, fishes. Then small fishes, mollusks, seabirds, crabs. Okay. Then comes the small fish. In case of rivers, you have to write birds and mammals as the consumers or carnivores. In case of marine ecosystem, you have to write mackerel, codfish. Okay. And again, decomposers are same in all the cases, that is bacteria and fungi. Functions of aquatic ecosystem is what? Drinking and other domestic uses, irrigation, fishing. Water in dams can be used for irrigation, construction of buildings, rearing of fish, and provide a source of food. Traits are what? Water pollution, eutrophication, dams construction, farm runoff causing biomagnification, contamination by heavy metals due to industrial effluents, and wetlands conversion to agricultural land. How will you conserve? Instead of cleaning water, prevent the pollution, prevent construction of dam, save wetlands, and prevent discharge of industrial effluent into the aquatic ecosystem. So with this, we have completed the chapter, that is the ecosystem.